strategic dialogue that we began back in June of this year. The state of our partnership is very strong. We're committed to helping Iraq achieve economic prosperity, freedom from foreign meddling in its internal affairs, and improve relationships with its neighbors as well. This is what the Iraqi people want too, a stable, prosperous, independent Iraq, an Iraq which is for Iraqis, and the Iraqis who protested last year couldn't have made that any more clear. We touched on religious freedom, a priority for the Trump administration and a key to the Iraqi nation's flourishing. As Iraq moves forward from the ISIS persecution and genocide, the U.S. is helping the most vulnerable, including Christians, Yazidis, and Shabak, recover. We devoted almost $500 million to help restore these communities. Yet there's still work to do. Armed groups not under the full control of Prime Minister have impeded our progress. Those groups need to be replaced by local police as soon as possible. I assured Dr. Fuad that we could help and that we would help. Our contributions come in addition to other humanitarian assistance which we've provided to Iraq, and it's only fitting that today, World Humanitarian Day, that I can announce that the USAID will provide an additional $204 million for life-saving food, safe drinking water, and health care for the Iraqi people. We're proud, too, of the private investments that are being made. We look forward to the day when Iraq won't need assistance, government assistance, and will be fully supported by foreign investment in their own great work that the Iraqi people do. We want an Iraq that's corruption-free, prosperous, and fully integrated into the global economy. I urged Baghdad to clinch a budget deal with the Kurdistan regional government. We also had good discussion on Iraq's energy sector, a major driver of economic activity in Iraq. We anticipate announcements on energy deals between U.S. companies and Iraqi government shortly. In our political dialogue, I emphasized the importance of the rule of law, functioning government, and regular electoral processes. The United States supports the Iraqi government as it prepares for early parliamentary elections. We're discussing ways to provide substantial support to the UN assistance mission for Iraq for just that purpose. We talked, too, about how the United States and Iraq can work together to make Iraq more safe and stable. The United States is committed to supporting Iraq's security forces, including through the NATO mission and the global coalition to defeat ISIS, to curb the power of militias that have for far too long terrorized the Iraqi people and undermined Iraq's national sovereignty. We can see a future when American tourists visit Iraq historical sites, when our military men and women attend each other's military staff colleges. And towards these ends, we discussed how the United States could help preserve Iraq's rich cultural heritage and religious diversity and support education in Iraq as well. We share not only goals and sacrifices with our Iraqi friends, but also a vision and hope. These ideals are the foundation for a thriving, steady partnership, which is making good progress. Thank you, Dr. Fuad. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. شكرا جزيلا معالي الوزير وشكرا لحسن الاستقبال. اليوم تم إطلاق الجولة الثانية للحوار الاستراتيجي بين وفد الحكومة العراقية ووفد حكومة الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. وكان لنا لقاء جيدا ومهما مع معالي الوزير، وتطرقنا في اللقاء إلى مجموعة من القضايا التي تخص الوضع العراقي والعلاقات الثنائية والوضع السياسي بصورة عامة والوضع الإقليمي، بالإضافة إلى قضايا تتعلق بالعلاقات الاقتصادية وكيفية مكافحة كورونا. وفي الحوار الاستراتيجي الذي بدأ اليوم هناك محاور حول هذه المسائل وتأكيد على العمل المشترك في مجالات مختلفة. الولايات المتحدة والعراق كنا في خندق واحد في محاربة داعش، ولا زلنا في هذا الخندق، وسنعمل معا لدحر القوات الإرهابية أو الفصائل الإرهابية أو الإرهابية المسلحة في العراق. وأكدنا على استمرارية التعاون في هذا المجال، في مجال محاربة الإرهاب. وتم التأكيد أيضاً في المباحثات على استمرارية والنقاش واستمرارية الحوار للوصول إلى العمل المشترك في مجالات أخرى تتعلق بمجال الطاقة، وهناك مذكرات تفاهم وتعاون في هذه المجالات، وخاصة في مجال الكهرباء والنفط، وأيضاً في المجال الصحي والثقافة والتعليم العالي، وسيتم التوقيع على هذه المذكرات هذا اليوم. الحوار مستمر، وسوف يكون هناك نتائج إيجابية لهذا الحوار ولمصلحة البلدين والشعبين. أنا أشكر معالي الوزير لحسن الاستقبال ولوقته وللنقاش المثمر والنقاش المهم، حيث تطرقنا إلى كل هذه المسائل، وشكرا جزيلا.
We'll go to questions now. We'll start with Zina Ibrahim from Al Iraqi. Right behind you is the microphone.
Oh, thank you. Secretary Pompeo, thank you very much. You discussed in the first strategical dialogue that there will be a reduction of U.S. forces in Iraq. Is there a timetable and is there specific numbers? لمعاليك، هل هنالك اتفاق مع شفران ممكن أو مذكرة تفاهم ممكن أن توقع اليوم فيما يخص التنقيب في الناصرية؟ Thank you.
So we don't have any announcements to make with respect to numbers, but I would urge everyone, as we've gone through the strategic dialogue, not to focus on that. The real focus is on the joint efforts that we're making along every dimension, whether that's economic efforts, humanitarian assistance efforts, security assistance, all of those things. We continue to understand that the Iraqi people need that. The Iraqi people's sovereignty depends on a continued American commitment to support them and provide that assistance to them. We're determined to do that.
بالنسبة لتوقيع مذكرة تفاهم أو تعاون مع شفرون، أعتقد سوف يوقع اليوم. نعم.
Carol Morello, Washington Post. Carol, there's a microphone right behind you.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, when will you be going to New York to begin the process of triggering snapback sanctions against Iran? And can you explain how you intend to enforce them without full Security Council backing? They seem to have given every signal that they are simply going to ignore them. And so what are you going to do to make it happen? And Mr. Foreign Minister, do you agree with the United States on the need for snapback sanctions against Iran, and how will that impact Iraq? Thank you.
So, Carol, I don't have any announcement on timing on when we're going to do. The President's made clear we're going to do that soon, and we will. Second, these will be fully valid, enforceable UN Security Council resolution. We have every expectation that they'll be enforced just like every other UN Security Council resolution that is in place. You have to remember, 2231 isn't a U.S. document. It is a UN Security Council document. It has a set of provisions, it has a set of rights and obligations, and we will be in full compliance with that. And we have every expectation that every country in the world will live up to its obligations, including every member of the P5 and every member of the UN that will take seriously the international commitments to which they have signed up for. It's the longstanding commitment of the United States to do that. We are confident that every country will see that it is in their best interest that UN Security Council Resolution 2231 is fully enforced, as it is a valid, extant, continuing set of obligations. And so the enforcement mechanisms will be just the same enforcement mechanisms we have for all of the UN Security Council resolutions.
بالنسبة
With respect to
سياسة الولايات المتحدة
the
الأمريكية تجاه
United States policy
وتأثير
vis-à-vis
هذه
Iran
السياسة
and the impact
على
of this
الوضع
policy
العراقي.
on the situation
أولاً
in Iraq.
نحن نتحدث
First of
عن
all,
السياسة
we are
العراقية.
talking about Iraqi
لست
policy,
هنا
and I am not
لأتحدث
here
عن
to talk about
كان
U.S.
معالي الوزير
policy.
هنا
So His Excellency the Secretary can talk about
بالنسبة
the
للسياسة
U.S. policy.
العراقية،
With respect to the Iraqi
نحن نرى
policy,
أن الولايات
we see
المتحدة
that the United
الأمريكية
States of
حليفة
America is an
وحليفة
ally
قوية
and a strong ally for Iraq.
وسنستمر
And we will continue
بحماية هذا
to
التحالف
protect this
وتعميق
alliance
هذا التحالف
and to
وتوسيعه.
deepen it and expand it.
بالنسبة لإيران،
And regarding
دولة جارة
Iran,
للعراق.
Iran is a neighboring country to Iraq.
وبالنتيجة
And
هناك علاقات
as a result,
تخص
there
الجغرافيا
are
والتاريخ
ties pertaining to
والثقافة
geography, history, culture,
والاقتصاد.
economy,
والسياسة العراقية
and the Iraqi policy
السياسة الخارجية العراقية
or Iraq's
تنطلق
foreign
من المصلحة
policy
العراقية.
is based out of
نحن
Iraq's
نريد
national interest.
علاقات جيدة مع
We
دول
want to
جيران
have good relations
أن لا
with our
يتدخل
neighbors,
الآخرين
provided
في
that
الشؤون الداخلية للعراق.
nobody interferes
والقرار
in
العراقي يجب أن
Iraq's
يكون
affairs,
بيد
and the
العراقيين.
Iraqi decision will be
ونحمي
made by the Iraqis.
علاقاتنا
And we want to
التحالفية مع
protect
الآخرين
our
ومن
alliances
بينها
and
مع
relations with
الولايات
others,
المتحدة
including the United States of America.
Thank you, everyone.